founded in 1989 by our teacher, friend, and mentor, Mr. Carlos Acetuno. And Fogo Na Roupa has lit the streets on fire since 1989 with provocative themes, beautiful costuming, colors, and the rhythms of the Brazilian diaspora and African diaspora in the United States. Fogo Na Roupa has reached the Greater Bay Area, Oakland, and San Francisco, and some people are even further now.
And beyond.
And beyond, yeah. The past 10 years, I believe we can say we've had over 200 or close to 200, pretty stable in our contingent. And I think that it's always been about that number. I think that the different sections have actually always been there from the beginning, and it comes from the actual tradition in the Rio Parade where they have different sections there. And so one of the ones that you see in the forefront that has been a tradition in Fogo Na Roupa is the Baiana section, which is to always have the more folkloric regalia, and also sometimes it's based upon an Orisha energy or a story. And in the past years, it's been led by Josephine Morada, who actually brings the culture of the African diaspora and the story and actually sets a prayer and sets the stage for the rest of the contingent. Behind them, we like to put the youth, which is the sparks of the oldest dancers in the Sparks of Fogo programming, which is in Oakland and now again San Francisco, which are the teens, the youth from middle school all the way up to 18 years. And then you see the destaques on the floats. Those are the ones where which are highlighted and stand out, right? A destaque stands out and they have individual costumes. And around the parade here, you see what are the pasistas, are the up and coming leaders, the ones who have been in class training and doing performances with us throughout the year, and they are wearing the samba costumes. And then behind them we have the heart, which is the
heartbeat, right? The one that makes the motion, my emotions. That's what is a bateria. And after the bateria we have
the ala mayor, which is the main section we call. And we put them right there because it's our biggest section. It is la comunidad, it's the community, and that section is open to everybody. People jump in just for Carnival season. Some of them are doing it the whole season, and some of them, as long as they learn the choreography, jump in the last month. But that is the section that moves us during Carnival, the energy of about 50 women of all generations. And behind them are the littles, the Fogo kids, again, in Oakland and San Francisco. And there are our kids, right? The littles under 13 years old. And I think that it works well for us to be divided in sections. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with age, but it has to do more with generations, right? And so we have grandmothers, mothers, kids, we have different generations of families in a lot of them. And so that not only captures all of that, but it also gives them a special highlight, right? And has them, and they become more unified into whatever section that is, right? And so while the main section is just open for everybody, right? And it's for everybody, the Baiana, the kids, and the littles are a little bit more highlighted with whatever story, age, energy that generation is bringing to us, and pasistas and destaques. So I came to Fogo Na Roupa because I was dancing at School of the Arts, and a lot of the young people there were taking classes with Mr. Preguiça when I was in high school. A lot of them were capoeiristas at the Harvey Milk Recreation Center. And so when I graduated from high school, I was doing a lot of modern and ballet classes, but I had a friend who wanted to do Brazilian classes. And And so I followed her to dance classes, and she took me to Brazilian class actually. And I remember that day was really hard because for some reason my car broke down, and I walked from one meeting on 16th all the way to Dance Mission, which was not called Dance Mission then. I think it was called Third Wave Dance Studios. And yeah, no, I walked to the Mission Cultural Center, and the Mission Cultural Center was closed. And there was a sign there that said, no, class today is at Third Wave. So then I ran to Third Wave, and I jumped into class, I remember. And I think maybe it was around Christmas time because it was pretty empty, and it was only open that day for Carlos's class.
Actually, in '89, that's when I met Carlos. But before that, I did 3 carnivals before Fogo Na Roupa. And I started getting involved more into the Brazilian drumming. And of course, when I met Carlos, this was through my friend Henry Flood, that most of them, they came up from Batuca J. So everything goes back to Batuca J. And then Carlos, of course, one of the members of Batuca J. And then in 1989, we were playing at La Raza Park because we had like Sunday rumbero jams there. Either was there, I was so psyched out. Like, okay, we're going to do Carnaval. Okay, great. And I didn't know about costumes. I'm like, cool, I just going to show up with my drum and we just walk, right? And when I get there to the Carnival back in '89, I get there and I get all pumped. This was like 7 in the morning. And I was like, where's Carlos? And, it's like 8 o'clock. Where's Carlos? He's not there. Like, I didn't have no costume. All I had was my shorts, my tank top, and some white Vans that he told me, bring some white shoes. I said, okay, cool. Once I get there, it's okay, cool. Spray paint, some sparkles, put it on your shoes, go, and here's your costume, He's like, when he showed up, everybody get into his car like ants in the candy, and then he was putting out costume like crazy,
But really, the magic comes from the committee and our group energy. Somehow, every year we come up with a theme that's very inspiring to all of us. That inspires the costumes. The costumes inspire the dance and the music. And I mean, it's the committee that's the magic, I have to say.
It's something that's hard to describe. It's hard to kind of put words into how special it is. It's like I'm getting emotional just thinking of how much it means to me. But how I came into the group, the people who embraced me, the friendships I made, the things I learned, not just in dance, but in costuming and in just community and love and friendship, were things that I never anticipated. When I just happened to see Fogo parading, one year in the Mission, and I was like, I want to do that. I want to see what that's about, and I got to, not just, learn from Carlos, but I got to be friends with him, and then be embraced by so many people. So it was like I don't want to say non-issue. It was just like, my child is going to be brought up in this, and he's going to know this love. He's going to feel the rhythms. Like my baby does not stop moving, and he didn't stop moving the entire time I was pregnant. I didn't stop moving until I was told, you should probably stop at this point, you're past due, your due date, but it feels like fate,
I mean, I feel like Fogo's been my family since I joined. I felt like I stepped into a class where I felt like I was very embraced. It's always been like that, and I feel that once I got married, I met my wife through Fogo. I felt like Fogo was definitely a piece of the reason why we fell in love, and also I felt that I just couldn't not have Fogo help me out and perform during the our celebration. It was the part of being a social life. So I definitely I couldn't not invite him. You know, it was definitely a blessing. And everybody in the family, everybody that I invited was like, whoa, you guys parading all the time, but it's like now you're kind of close to us, and it was definitely something very special.